Hi, welcome to Mindshifters Radio. Today is Friday, April the 24th, 2026. Welcome, Sally and Kathy and Bridget, and welcome, Michael.
Thank you, dear heart. And welcome, everybody. Delighted, honored that you're here. Honored that we get to continue the conversation and the discovery and application of the truly accurate meaning of the ancient Aramaic teachings tools on how to be restored to the truth of who we are as human beings. So glad you're here to be part of the conversation. Anyone have a thought? Anything want to come to the show with anything on your mind? Anything to share? Questions, answers?
I just want to say hello. I'm so happy to be here. Hi, Michael. Hi, Jeannie.
Welcome. Delighted that you're joining us. What's exciting in your world? Anything to share today? What's the most pressing thing on your mind?
Being in the moment. And I'm just excited about life, Michael. I'm just so happy to be on this planet and working, doing light work with y'all.
Cool. Sweet. Any word back from Matthew?
No, I sent him a message. I didn't call. I did call and I got his voicemail, but I didn't leave a voice message. But I sent him a text with the link to the Zoom. I just forwarded him the link that you sent me. And
Oh,
I said we'd love to see you anytime. I'm joining today for the first time. So yeah,
well, glad you're here for the first time, and I hope you'll stick with us.
me
This
too.
this conversation has been going on for 16 years now.
Between us.
The Mind Shifters radio show. We're in our 16th year, 5 days a week for 16 years now,
Oh,
and
that's
so
so awesome.
we've got thousands of hours in our archives, and
Right.
we've covered you know, just about every aspect of this work that I can think of in those
Right
16
on.
years. We've got a couple of folks who have been assisting us. We used to be on a thing called Blog Talk Radio. And at the 15-year point, they sent us a message one day telling us, well, in 2 months or whatever the time period was, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, whatever it was, we're going out of business. So bye.
Oh,
And
wow.
we switched into another format that didn't work for us very well. And so then we went to Zoom, and that's working perfectly. And I think we're up getting close to 3,000 hours on our YouTube channel, mostly of our
Wow.
radio shows. And we've got a couple of folks who dedicate some time every day to assisting us in getting the old radio show archives converted so that we can put them on our YouTube channel. So
Right on.
the whole
That's
objective is just to
awesome.
get it out there and make it available. So I'm glad you're here.
Absolutely. Me too. I'm so glad you guys are here too.
Sweet. All right. Well, Miss Sally, Kathy, and I understand you can't say anything to us, Kathy, but you could put something in the chat if you have a thought for us, a question, and we've been with the show for a long time. If there's any support we can be, a note in the chat room would be another way to communicate with us at what's happening in your world. Hope that it's well and rocking along.
How do you chat? How do you see the chat?
Okay, if you look at the bottom of your screen, you should, the way it's showing up now, I'm on my phone. I see the mute button, which you just unmuted in order to speak, and then the video button. Next step, there's a little square that says chat.
Oh, right on.
And
I see it.
if you go in there, you can type and or you can read what anyone else types. So
Okay.
if I go in there, I just need to hit a button
Yeah, I see it.
and
Okay, yeah, I see it. Right on.
cool. I just put a link to the Power Person worksheet. We talked about that recently on the show. It's a new 19-page worksheet. It goes to the core of the whole Power Person dynamic. So
Okay,
just
wait, what, can you repeat that again?
so if you look into the chat now, you'll see that I've actually both Jeannie and I have posted. Jeannie posted a welcome to you, and I see you posted a heart. So just above the heart that you posted, I put a link into a PDF of the Power Person worksheet.
Oh,
That's a
cool.
worksheet that, oh, geez, I don't even know how long I've been teaching the codependence to interdependence work, and the Power Person worksheet was a one-page worksheet has been for the last 25 years or so. And then back in 2020 and 2021, we did 2 back-to-back online codependence intensives. And as a result of the processing, the questions and answers, and all that went on in those 2 intensives, which are now available as a self-guided process on the website, that worksheet expanded out from its 25-year history being 1 pages to where it's now 19 pages. We actually, the second of those online intensives, it was originally designed to be a 14-week intensive, and I think we spent 5 hours a week. So what ended up happening because of the focus on that Power Person worksheet is that we added another 3 weeks to the intensive, so that one ended up being 17 weeks. And the upshot of that is that worksheet. So you can pull a copy of that and take a look at it
Can
if
I
you
see
choose
that
to.
worksheet while we're talking? Or, I mean, if I press on that link, would I disconnect from the Zoom?
No, no, shouldn't.
Oh, right on. Oh,
Should be
wow,
able to.
that's so cool. All
Yeah,
right. I'm kind of
technology.
prehistoric, Michael. That's why I'm like, can you please open Heartland? Because I just want to drive, 10 hours to get there and hunker down in the cabin. I'm really old school. But
I
no,
hear you.
I love this. I love the fact that we can do this. This is really beautiful. I love this. Thank you.
Well, my best take is it's developed into a really sweet community. People float in and out, and the support between and among everyone that's engaged over the years is really powerful. And
Absolutely.
one of our
Um,
objectives, in the Aramaic language, the words that have been translated as the quote unquote kingdom of heaven, those words properly translate the community of love, which is the objective of this work, is to build that community. So glad you're a part of it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. You're just, well, talk about like unlimited. Your connection to the eternal unlimited life source is just amazing. Thank you so much.
Well, of course, we know
Um,
all of that's done with smoke and mirrors. So glad you've got that connection.
right?
There you
Right?
go.
We'll take a walk in the woods someday. You can tell me your version of what smoke and mirrors means.
Mm,
Hi, Jeannie. I don't believe you and I have spent much time together. I went to Heartland. I sent my father's son and Matthew Erickson actually brought us to you guys. About 30. My daughter just turned 35, and she was a baby when we went. So, was Jeannie there, Michael? I know you were together, but was she there?
I don't remember that year specifically, whether
But
Jeannie was part of.
if it was 30 years ago, then no.
Or
Yeah, 30
35
years
is
ago.
35. Yeah, 35. She was a brand new baby. I was, like, or maybe she was six
Oh,
months
okay.
old or 9 months old.
Yeah, Jeannie and I have been together 22 years now.
Okay, right on.
So
Well, it was really, I mean, obviously, the the imprint in this life that Michael and your work. I mean, I know it's universal, it's eternal, so it was already there. So the awakening and the connection is just, of course, um, words are just too cumbersome and limited right now to describe that. So there you go. I'm glad that
understood.
we're still here.
I'm with you. If you remember in my book, Why Is This Happening Again? There's a chapter titled "Words Could Never Say,"
Right?
and they are clumsy tools to try to describe the actuality of anything. And
Absolutely. Yeah, your strong presence and your determination, Michael, is definitely, like I totally honor that. I just honor you.
thank
Yeah,
you, thank you.
thank
Keep
you.
passing it on.
Absolutely. So to
Awesome.
access the books, I don't mean to take up so much time with everyone else in the group. I'm so delighted to be here. Thank you guys for your patience. I'd like to order the book Why Again. Can I do that on Amazon?
Actually, the book is out of print,
Oh,
but you can two ways to get it. You can go to and I'll put a link in the chat. You can download it free off of our website.
the
And there's still,
whyagain.org.
yes, actually,
Okay.
just go to whyagain.org/book. There are links to it in, I don't know, 9 or 10 or so different languages. But there are used copies still hanging around. That book was published 1960 or 1996. That's almost 30 years ago. And unfortunately, there are copies that we sold that they're still around. You can buy them for $4 or $5 on eBay and on Amazon. It's always still around. So
You have an audio CD for this?
we do, yes. Hmm.
Oh, cool. Okay. So I have an old school CD player. So right on. I mean, I could always download it and just send you guys a donation, whatever works for you. I would like to help, you know, help you however I can. You know,
Okay. Well, we'll send you a link to the book on CD, and if you just go ahead and order, we'll get it off in the mail to you.
right on.
Cool.
Excellent. I'd
And
also
you
like
get
to
the
order Jeannie's book. Jeannie, I'd like to order your book from my mom. Her birthday was yesterday. And I feel that you have, I'm incredibly, well, I'm not going to toot my own horn. So my intuition and my vision is incredibly clear. And there's a soul connection. And it goes back to the Native American thing. I started listening to you a couple weeks ago when Michael and I had exchanged some, he had forwarded all of your information to me. And oh, it's bringing some tears to my heart chakra it's opening something. Okay, breathe, right?
Sweet breathing with you, yes.
So anyhow, I would love to order the book with have it signed and send it to her as a belated birthday gift.
Cool.
Or not belated, every day is a birthday, right?
Right.
We'll
So
send
we'll
you,
talk about that. Let's talk about that
yeah,
after.
we'll send you a link. I'll text you a link after we complete, and you can order the book and the
Okay.
CD. We'll send the CDs to you and the book to her.
So
Signed.
wild. When I went through that moment and I had to take a deep breath and the energy was so intense, the copy of the hardcover book, the Zohar, just went falling down in between a crack that's not even big enough for it to get through behind my couch. Is that crazy?
Really
Like, look
interesting.
at the crack. Can you see the crack?
Hmm.
It literally is like this big, and the book is this big, and somehow it's oh wow, the energy is real.
So the race replacement's on its way. The next
Okay,
level, the next level of it's on its way. So I guess the Zohar said, "Okay, I'm going to go away now." And
right.
cool. All right. Cool. Anything else on your mind for today?
um. Okay, so um. Okay, so yeah. Uh,
Breathing with you. Allow yourself to just gently soften and take a breath and get centered in that thought and go for it.
Um. there's so many parts. There's so many parts within us. That I experienced the little growth in the ancient wisdom, that I have then the personality of this life. And so it's this life. So we're here in this life, and the relationships that we and you and I were talking about this, Michael. And I've been doing. I just want to let you know, I have the diamond of me. I've been. It's constantly being tumbled and turned into this the brilliance of how we were created. Shedding the layers. And again, the words are cumbersome, but I'm in this relationship with my mother. It's of course, she's my mom, and I have so much love, you guys. Like, it's I can't just stop a relationship. I understand that we're here for a reason, that we chose to. It's a soul agreement that we chose to do this, and I'm in for the long haul, for the eternal part. And it's
Yeah.
it's so incredibly difficult sometimes, guys.
So tell me about what are, let me get clear. You're saying there's some difficulty between you and your mom that you're having challenges with.
Uh, well, yes, and part of it is, I mean, gosh, I stopped praying for patience because God really gives it to me, or Creator, or I attract it. I really attract the lesson to myself.
Opportunities to learn patience, yes.
Yes. So, um,
It's
she's
like
an
my request
elder.
was just for a bucket of patience. It wasn't for the opportunity to learn it. Come on.
Right, my request was to just have the whole brigade, behind me to do
Yeah,
it for me. Not, I'm kidding.
I,
That's my
I hear you.
sarcasm.
I understand.
Um,
So how can we
she
support you with what's happening with mom?
really energetically. I mean, she's an elder, just energetically for me. Holding space, because I am doing my part in being present with her, accepting her for her, not um, take the not taking ownership of um of her stuff, being really present. She's 75. She has the beginning stages of Alzheimer's and dementia, and drinks heavily.
Right.
So all of that put into perspective, just breathing through it. My sobriety is stronger than it's ever been right now, so that it's not affecting me on that level. You know,
Good
Matt
for
and I
you.
Matt and I struggled through that, equally, at times.
Right. Hmm.
So my sobriety is incredibly strong. I'm becoming more and more repulsed by toxicity, which just says to me that, my where I am personally. Toxicity repulse in regards to not other people's toxicity. I mean that too, but I know I have to be present with it because that's my soul agreement. And I don't. I'm in the garage. I've turned it into an apartment, and it's a work in progress. Um, and I'm really happy. It's my space, so it works. So I can be close enough to help her if she yells out the window and needs help, or my auntie, who she lives with in the big house next to me. Um, so okay, so the lesson, understanding, putting things into perspective. This is the outside world, my outside, and that's their house.
Right.
Um, it's my little girl that I think that I know is it's that part. It's that, and I have the strength to tend to my inner child as, the adult version of me.
Right.
So it really just voicing it and remembering to breathe, Michael and Jeannie, it's that part.
That's the biggest thing is to keep that breath moving. And it sounds like maybe it's time for you to look at the next level. And it's interesting. When I pasted that in, I just picked something that I had stored to paste in to demonstrate and get something moving in the chat room. And the fact that I pasted the Power Person worksheet. probably printing that off and just following instructions on it will be precisely the piece of work that you're ready for today.
Okay, so that's the
link in the chat room that I sent that you said you hit it and it opened.
oh,
So
the
that's
very first
the
one.
19-page worksheet. Yeah.
The
And that,
power person pseudo solution worksheet.
right.
Okay, gotcha.
So the power person is a person who, one, had more power over your life than you did at one point, and it's usually a parent when we were a child. Two, they were not functioning out of love. They were not functioning as a human being. And three, you perceived it as survival. And what happens when that occurs, and most every human being on earth today, the way the culture is set up, goes through that as a child. As a child, we literally energetically open our field with no filters whatsoever, and whatever's in the environment, we absorb energetically.
Right.
And that formulates an unconscious power person dynamic that literally, until it's fully worked through, runs our lives. And the idea of the worksheet is to look at every piece of the puzzle, and that's why it's grown to a 19-page worksheet. Every dynamic that happened in relationship to mom, and as you described, that she's still drinking and that she's starting to lose her mental faculties. It sounds like the perfect time for you to dig out that worksheet and really do the next level of work around that early childhood experience, to touch
Absolutely.
into the thoughts, the feelings, the conclusions, and to be able to really, truly turn them over to the breath to breathe through them and do the work around them.
Right. When you first started talking about it, I just went back to the studio at Heartland when we were all laying on the floor doing a still point breathing.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Gosh, I would love to have a facilitation with the still point. I know enough as a healer and a light worker to be able to do it on my own and in this space,
Our next
putting
online Mind Shifters and Still Point Breathing Club meeting is the weekend of May the 16th. You might want to put that on your calendar and join us. We do it via Zoom, facilitated. That's something that's been going on now for, I'm not even sure now, probably going on 3 years. We've had a group of people who've been getting together once a month, and everybody selects a mind shifter to work on the day or two before and come together and do that process. And then, of course, we haven't opened Heartland since 2019, as you and I discussed. And because of that, I have started to do one-on-one personal intensives that run anywhere from 3 to 5 days. And the focal point of that is what I've labeled or titled Quantum Still Point. That takes the breath work to the next level of stepping into deeper physiological alignment so that there is a full complement of energy moving through the structure to clean out whatever needs to be cleaned out. So there are several different options. And we are going to there was a request recently, and so we're going to look at sometime in the not too distant future. Actually, two things we're going to do is an online Laws of Living intensive, but we're going to do a personal 16-day intensive that will include, and it will be about creating and moving forward into certification of the hands-on energy field work. Mind shifters and still point breathing process and the personal code evaluation. So it'll be a 16-day residential hands-on workshop. We don't have a date set for that, but the request has been made, and so we'll be looking. That'll be done here at a retreat center, probably here in Virginia, unless, as you and I discussed, if a crew comes together that really wants to help to do the work that it's going to take to get Heartland open for a season, that's that's a possibility, but it will
Well,
happen either here or there.
right. How big of a crew do we need? I'm already putting it together. I already set it into the motion, into the universe. I mean, it's a request that the universe asked. It's, we are connected. The energy potential is there. So how many people do we need, Jeannie and Michael? Like, what do we need? Asking you shall
Probably,
receive.
probably to really get Heartland up and operating for a season, we'd probably need 8 committed people who'd come early and get the facility arranged to do that.
Right. And okay. That would be like
But
in
either
the
way,
spring.
yeah, well, it's probably too late for this season, so it would probably be next season. But that, regardless, that 16-day is something that's going to happen.
Absolutely. Okay, well, keep me
So,
posted on that.
we'll do it.
Um,
And if
well,
you once you take a look at that codependence or the power person worksheet, and there are many facets to it. I mean, it's literally being 19 pages long is really in depth. And perhaps it's something that as you go through it, keep on the show, keep in connection with us, and let's support you through it.
absolutely. I'm going to make that my job. So I'm going to commit I'm going to commit to that, and to commit to the 19 pages. Um, I can get on the bus, take it to the lake. I can the library is not far from the lake. I can print it out from there and either work in the library and at the lake, or and also
Cool.
in my spot right here. But I want to commit to that 100%.
You
And
can also
then,
do it on your computer.
well, I don't have a computer right now, Michael.
Ah,
My
okay.
phone is my computer.
Ah.
Um, yeah,
Well, it can also
that's
be opened and done on the phone, but if you've got a phone that's capable, a smartphone.
no, I'm old fashioned. I like writing. I'm an English major,
Cool. Oh,
and
okay.
so
Got
I'm
it.
gonna print it out, and I'm gonna. I
Cool.
like doing that. Mhm.
Well, it'll be fun to
Okay,
work with
so
you through it and have you take part.
absolutely. I'm sorry for interrupting. Yes,
No, that's cool. Perfect.
I was speaking to a couple of people. Matthew's son, actually, um, right before I connected. He and I are having lunch this afternoon, and he's like, "Well, can I come pick you up now? We haven't seen each other um since he was little, but he still calls me Aunt Bridge. I helped raise him, and
Right.
so we only communicate, like this, FaceTime and voice and texting. So we're meeting for the first time together. His energy is amazing, Michael. And
That's
I said, well,
awesome.
yes, I know, it's so cool. I'm so excited. I'm getting goosebumps. He's gonna be. I affirm that he'll be part of the crew when we open up next year.
How long has he been circling the earth now?
Gosh, his Isaiah, we call him Zay. Um, he is a young father. I'm early 20s.
Wow.
But well, my daughter's 35 and Zaya was a baby and she was like 6. So I'm gonna say mid to late 20s, I guess.
Mm, wow.
That's how
Amazing
I
how
put
time
things.
flies, isn't it? Yeah, I
I
understand.
I know it seems like just yesterday. I was like, no, I was just at Heartland and I was nursing you, Micaiah, like
Wow. That's awesome.
um okay, so real quick, I have a piece of paper. I'm writing down this some of the information. You were saying, okay, for the still point,
I'll
for the
send you a link to it.
okay,
We can say
it's a
it's
still point
listed on the
Zoom.
website. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then you said, Michael, you do like 3-day personal intensives.
Yes. One-on-one
What's
here in Virginia.
like in person?
Yes. Hmm.
Oh, okay. I wonder if I've got like a $500 airline credit on Southwest. Is it Frontier?
Cool. Well, I see that Jeannie has already put the links in the chat. for the monthly Mind Shifters and Still Point Breathing. It's something we do once a month, and there are 3 different levels of participation. You can do just 1 session, or you can do a package of 3 sessions. Check it out, or you can join for a year. So the link is there for that, and then the Quantum Still Point link Jeannie has put in as well. So it's all right there in the chat. Technology.
All right then. Okay, cool. I've got them all open, every single one now.
Cool.
I have my work
Well, you've
cut
got
out
it all.
for me.
Okay, great. So there's the link to the audiobook and to Jeannie's book.
Thank you.
Jeannie, I hadn't been looking in there. You've been busy. Holy mackerel. She's got it all. Thank you, sweetheart.
You're so beautiful, Jeannie. I see your Native American lineage in your features.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that book was powerful to write, and I kept it quiet for 30, 40 years. And so
Right.
it's time.
Absolutely.
And then part of me, once it was published, it's like, oh my gosh, now I can't take it back.
Oh, well, what's to take back? You know,
It's a good thing that it's out there.
absolutely. When you said 30 or 40 years, instantly my thought went to more like 300, 400 years, or
Well,
like,
yeah, if I go back to the Native American girl, it was.
absolutely.
But in this
I see
lifetime.
Right. I feel your heart.
Thank
Wow,
you.
I have this connection with you. I feel all of your chakras, like
Thank
seeing
you.
your light body. It's
Thank
really
you.
intense. Like my pituitary is going just whoa right now.
Next level of opening.
Sending healing energy to you too, sister. Wow,
Thank
you are
you.
wide open.
Thank you.
No wonder, Michael. She's
No wonder.
beautiful. Yeah, wow, she's just golden. All full spectrum. Your combined energy is just so dynamic. What a blessing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, energy is so real. I'm so glad that I just committed to get on today because I just am right. I just definitely next level. That's right, Michael. Because remember, I didn't stay at Heartland. I had Scott stay, and I went on to my journey with Micaiah, and you were so insistent. uh, oh, and so yes, this is the next level.
Time to go for it.
That's
Awesome.
right. Mm.
Let's just put a thought out to the folks that are on the show right now, and see if anybody has anything about the Power Person worksheet, those who've done it, that you'd like to share with Bridget. Any comments or thoughts from anyone on your experience of doing the Power Person worksheet?
Well, thank you, Bridget. I'm glad you're here. You're in a good place for sure, and appreciated your comments, especially your comments about your mom. My name is Sally, and I live with my 90-some-year-old mom. And I felt listening to you at one point, I chuckled because I thought of making the garage my place, but there was too much resistance because of the 2 cars that abide in there and all the tools and such. So I stepped to a smaller space, which I now inhabit, and joyfully remind myself that I could live in Japan, where people live in very, very small spaces.
Right?
And yeah, I laugh because I have a little tiny chair and a little tiny desk and a little tiny bed and, just exactly what I need for my full operation. So thank you for sharing about that, because the journey with a mom who has beauty and also not had the chance to address her own challenges, gives us a special task. And I did
Right.
do the 19-page Power Person worksheet. I've revisited it many times, and there's always more to be revealed. What I will say is that when I recognize the patterns and I clean up what exists within me rather than try to change her at any level, I can change the energy that has in the past had me hooked into her being different. And so I think that's the best way to say it. I I have applauded Michael's work for as long as you have. Probably, I've known Michael for 30 years, and I've known Jeannie for the whole time she's been with Michael. And definitely what a blessing Jeannie brings to him. And
Right.
now that they're the dynamic duo, they're continuously using the tools and sharing the tools and supporting other people in whatever shows up, which is a
Right.
beautiful ministry. And I'm thankful beyond words. Mainly, I wanted to say welcome, and I want to say you're not alone navigating the various things that you're here to do in this lifetime.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
I really hearing that whole reference in regards to Japan, that thank you for that, because the simplicity and the peace that comes with the simplicity is really been profound. Not really profound. It actually is naturally relieving with the amount of peace there is in the simplicity. And also, all of it. Thank you. The connection's definitely there. I'm going to go to the library this afternoon and print out the worksheet, and I'm starting right away. So, Sally, thank you so much.
As
Are you
one
guys?
of our, I wanted to say you are welcome and deserving.
Thank you.
Sweet. Sweet. Thank you, Sally, for sharing that with Bridget. Anyone else anything to share? Well, any other thoughts for you, Bridget? This moment, I'm delighted that you're getting to see Isaiah this afternoon. That's an interesting synchronicity, and maybe he'll get you by the library to print it off.
Right. Yeah,
Cool.
down he wanted to have lunch at like I'm taking him out to lunch. So I'm gonna choose a place right next to the library. So, he's a youngin, so that we can eat and he can eat, if he chooses to eat and run or whatever, or I can show him whatever the energy potential's there, whatever he chooses to gift himself with. Because this is really holding space for him. I've been holding space for him since he was since he was little, a toddler. And so this is a really again, cumbersome words. Yes, it's exciting.
Well, I'll add another piece to that puzzle just for the rest of our participants in the show, just so they have a little deeper resonance with our conversation. And that is that I was on the road back when Isaiah's dad was 9 or 10. And he traveled with me for a time period. There were some challenges in his home. And
Oh, you
he,
mean I'm sorry.
yeah, that's what I mean. His
So wait,
dad,
he was with you and not you. He was with you, and Linda wasn't there.
correct.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's so cool.
this was before Linda passed.
Right.
But she had come to some of my work, introduced me to him, and I was on the road traveling around Michigan. And so he came with me for a time period, just came with me. So it was like, an adopted son. He and I
Yeah.
became really connected in that time period. And
That's awesome.
so it's just kind of cool that his son is now in his mid to late 20s and has a son, and that we can bring an impact to that whole family system. One of the just again, so those who are listening might have a little history, is that it was probably about, I think, 3 years after that. I think Matt was about 10 or 11. And it was about 3 years after that that his mom passed in a head-on collision.
Actually, Linda passed when I was pregnant with Micaiah, so that was 34 years ago, and Matt was like in his early 20s. So you got
Yeah,
you
well, it was
when
earlier
Matt
than that that
no
I
when you saw when I met you and Matt came down to Heartland,
right,
Linda had probably passed like maybe 4 years before that
at least, yeah, yeah.
because I was pregnant with Micaiah.
Huh. So
And
there's a longer period from the time that he traveled with me was that particular summer, and I was shortening it, I was thinking it was 3 or 4 years later, but it sounds like it was maybe 10 years later. And
oh
in
yeah,
the
but
event,
your impact on Matthew has been just profound. He recites your work like you definitely are. And I think now I'm recalling him speaking on that connection. I totally had forgotten about that. The soul connection and the soul commitment that we all have. I don't believe in only twin flames. When you look at a fire, the licks of the flames of and again, cumbersome words, but we're all connected in that ancient root of creation. The us right
breathing
here,
with you on that, yes.
yeah. Hi, Michael.
Joining with you in breath. And delighted for everybody that's here. The folks that are on the show with us have been around the work for a long time. So just inviting everyone to hold the space for Isaiah, for Matthew, and of course, Bridget, for you and your mom at this point. Glad you're here.
And me for everyone here. I'm jumping in. I'm deep diving with y'all. What a safe place to be. Thank you so much.
Delighted and honored. With a young lady on the show yesterday, we did I shared with you, we did the online codependence to independence communication practicum 2 years in a row. We combined those together into a course that is available for self-guided work. And it was a young lady that came to an intensive last year who supported and did a facilitated session. So added, the course itself is 89 hours of video, and we still haven't sat down and totaled up. I think there's at least another 50 hours, maybe more, of video that were added as we supported her in facilitating that 89-hour course on Zoom. So it's all recorded. And one of the sessions that we did, there was a lady who'd done a 9-day intensive, and her mother came in and joined in the facilitated session. And her grandmother came to a processing session where it was a family. The daughter was working with the mom, and the grandmother was there holding space,
Wow.
and the daughter's daughter was also part of it. So there were 4 generations in that session online, and it was awesome.
Oh,
It
that's
was
so
just,
cool.
yeah. So you're just reminding me of how it all is tying together, and here's another tie together that's really sweet to share with everybody. So,
Right on. Yeah, and as you're saying that, okay, so just the healing, the generational healing for all of the families. What just came in so strongly was um Grandma Erickson, Nancy, and Linda, okay? And I my connection with them, I mean, I was connected with them while Grandma was still alive and Linda was
right.
still alive. And so I just energetically that I again cumbersome words. The energy is healing, and it's healing right now. That situation is healing.
Well, and seeing you able to breathe into and open the space on another level for your mom in her process, whatever, challenges, who knows what the power person dynamics that went on in her childhood.
Absolutely.
That many decades ago, what was happening with women on the planet Earth. And so just extending that
That's what
space,
I call.
just extending it through you to Isaiah and his son, and all the way back to your mom.
That's right. And my mom's mom, and my mom's mom's mom, for the hundreds, thousands of generations. Just breaking the chain, severing the chain, or healing, letting go. Just again, cumbersome. Those negative words. That thought that there is no chain. We are released and free from the bondage of the dysfunctional behavior and thinking.
Well, just the fact that, we're at a point where each of us pretty much, at least as far as I'm aware, and virtually when I think about my upbringing, virtually everybody that I knew were brought up in the one world universal religion of blame. It was always somebody else's fault. Responsibility was a rarely thought of commodity, and that as we individually and collectively begin to take responsibility and as opposed to blame, and own and literally become identified, acquainted with, recognize our identity with, and then become acquainted with our own dissociated parts, the self that we've hidden from ourselves, and then to acquire the capacity and the skill of removing what never belonged in physiology individually and opening a space collectively for that happen. It's just monumental.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So absolutely. Michael, just can you repeat to me in the beginning of our conversation? You said when you're a child, what happens?
Yes. Okay.
Um,
So the power person dynamic that worksheet is about is something we cover in our codependence workshop. And in this work, we define codependence. We have the same definition of codependence as we have for denial. Whenever I think or speak as though something outside of me is the cause of what's moving inside of me, I'm in denial. When I'm in denial, you made me mad, you made me sad, you made me afraid. I'm only upset because my mom is doing this or because my brother is doing that. What has to happen is we have to dissociate from and hide a part of ourselves from ourselves. So we create this unnatural condition called an unconscious mind, or what in the ancient scriptures was called the heart. And when they said, take care of the heart, for out of it are the issues in life, That wasn't a bleeding heart statement. They were saying what you've hidden from yourself in your life through the mechanism of blame, you've carried around in a hidden part of your mind. And if you're ever going to actually heal, you have to begin to crack open the projections of that mind and own them. So the codependent relationship is a relationship where I depend on you being the problem in my life so I don't have to look at those parts of myself. And that's the
Right.
world that virtually everybody I know was brought up in.
Right.
And so to shift that around and move out of it and actually take responsibility becomes key. And one of the pieces of the puzzle is that we tend to be patterned by our power person. And the power
The power
person is
person. Go ahead.
usually it's a mom or dad. It's usually a parent, though not always. I've seen other situations where, totally unrelated to family, somebody set up this power person dynamic in relationship to someone else. But three things occur in order for the power person dynamic to exist in one's mind. And that is that, again, going back to the child, the adult, the parent, has more power over the child's life than the child has. The parent is not functioning as a human being. It's not functioning as love. And the child perceives that circumstance as survival. When those three conditions come together simultaneously in a child's life, the child's energy field opens like a sponge and
Right.
just sucks in every energy environment, whether that energy is spoken. The angry parent doesn't say a word, but the energy of the rage and the degradation that's being pointed toward the child knows exactly that they still live in the plane of vibration. They know exactly what's going on. And all of that energy is simply drawn into, and then this is my power person's fault. This is my mother's fault, my father's fault that I'm experiencing this. The child dissociates from it. That's what we call the power person dynamic. And that's what that worksheet is about, is opening and cleaning that up. Because as long as that power person dynamic exists in the mind, throughout the rest of that person's life, and it doesn't matter whether, if the dynamic that established the power person dynamic for the child was when they were 4, that person could be 9, 12, 27, 38, 96. And there are only going to be 3 possible behaviors for that person's life. And the behaviors that they'll do are limited to 3 behaviors related back to the power person. And that's what the power person worksheet is about cleaning up. And the 3 behaviors are this. The thing that determines which behavior is active is the level of stress one is under. So if one is under little or no stress in a situation, the tendency will be to behave according to the way that they behaved when they were getting along with their power person. So, here I am, let's example, with my power person, I was always Mr. or Ms. Fun and excitement. So that will be the life that one lives. Fun and excitement, their norm. However, when stress starts to build, what will happen is they'll shift out of being, and this is something that often turns up in, let's say, in a marriage. You meet somebody and they're Mr. or Ms. Fun and excitement, and boy, this is a great life, and wow, look at this, we're having a great time together, and they rock along, and there's no extreme stress in the relationship for the first 5 years. So it's all excitement and fun. And then all of a sudden one day, the stress is elevated. And so when one goes into that elevated level of stress, they shift out of doing what they did, the automatic decision system in the mind. Instead of kicking out, we do what's excitement and fun, what we did to get along with our power person. We now shift when the stress starts to build into doing whatever we did to resist and survive with our power person. So that might be one day, and this is the whole Jekyll and Hyde story, that might be one day I'm Mr. Fun and Excitement, my stress builds, and all of a sudden Now what I do is I do what I did to resist and survive with my power person.
Or you just join in to their dysfunction and you start doing what they did, like
Well, that's it.
join.
I do. Well, that's actually the next level. There's a
Oh, okay.
level 3.
Because that's what
Level
Matt and I
2.
did. We just, hit the bottle with our parents,
Yeah,
have this, yeah.
right. But that second level of stress that runs somebody's life is what they did in order to resist and survive with their power person. So if that means I went from Mr. Excitement and Fun to Mr. Snarky, the way I, escaped the stress with my power person is I got snarky. And so that becomes, here I'm with this person who's excitement and fun for 5 years, and all of a sudden one day there's Mr. Snarky, and I wake up and it's like, what's going on here? What happened? Who are you? You've changed. Well, no, they haven't changed. They've just gotten into enough stress that the second level of the power person dynamic comes in. And
Right.
then the third level, when one becomes ultra stressed, they'll do what their power person did to them that they hated the most. That's the third level of the power person dynamic. And so that worksheet is about resolving that dynamic so that we get to function consciously according to choice rather than out of stress driving the automatic decision system to different levels of behavior. And that's kind of the basic bottom line thesis of our whole codependence to interdependence intensive work.
So I just would like to say, so my mom and I hit like not all time. I mean, we summited, if you will, or plummeted. They're both the same to me. To like the depths of like the worst with each other, not too long ago, and that's when I call it a Godsmack. Um, I don't, again, cumbersome words. Universe, creator, my higher self, um, you know, sits me down and says, this is not you. This is not what I created you to do or be. And instantly, I can hear that and I listen. And I don't know, it's hard to describe, Jeannie and Michael. It's like a purification. But this time, like I just there something, I shed something, like the awareness of what happened, of what you're describing, but without words. For me internally, it happened.
Yeah,
And
that's the idea. It's doing the work.
yeah,
That's the
but
whole
there's more
idea of
work
doing
to
the work.
do. But yeah, it's here.
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah, it's like I feel like, okay, yeah. So
Well, it will be fun as you print the Power Person worksheet off and start to work with it to support you, see your questions, help to refine it. Maybe everybody will pick up a Power Person worksheet and come to tomorrow's show ready to discuss it and go to
oh,
work
you
with it
guys
on
are
another
7
level.
days? Is this
5
every
days a
day?
week,
Okay, so
Monday through
not
Friday.
tomorrow.
Oh, yeah,
So
today's
Monday.
Friday already, isn't it?
It'll
Jeez.
be Monday.
Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, Monday through Friday. So let's maybe everybody wants to we'll print off and bring a Power Person worksheet with you, and we'll enter into that discussion.
Absolutely. Oh, now I'm going to have to like, I have a lot of medical stuff going on, or there's stuff going on. That's not really my biggest concern. I'm alive and kicking, and I'm not worried about any of it. But I was making my doctor's appointments like the priority and letting them schedule me anytime. So that's going to change because I'm going to block out this time, to be with y'all.
Cool.
But if I
Awesome.
don't show up, it's because, like I have to see, the universe is blessing me, or I'm attracting to myself like the best ortho for my shoulder. Um, so you guys, I had this surgery done last May. I don't know if you can see it. Not
Mm.
over. Can you see?
We can, yes. We'll hold
And
the space that you can let go of shouldering the burdens of the world.
so anyhow, the only reason why I wouldn't show up is if I, going to, for that specifically, other
Okay.
surgery or for that appointment. So I love you. I love you, Jeannie. Blessings to you
Extending
both.
love in your direction. Thank you. Thanks for opening the space. All right. Everybody,
Thank
thanks
you,
for
everyone,
joining
for
us.
listening.
All right. Take care.
God bless.
Blessings. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.